Yo, what's up, guys? I got my new best finish with Lavaloon Barbs, 673 in the world, and I'm excited to share these games with you. In the future, the videos are going to be live gameplay, but I wasn't able to record this live because the Twitch VOD muted itself. So if you enjoy this video, if it benefits you, please hit that like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll be doing my best to post some really good content. Alright, game number one, we have Sheikah, and he was playing just Lava Miner, but he had the E-Dragon. Dude, he had the freaking E-Dragon. I was like, okay, I have this in the bag. I have this completely in the bag, and then the E-Dragon came out, and I was like, oh, shit. But the tombstone came in, and if I have barbs in hand, I will always go lava into tombstone. So, even if, I'm playing the Mighty Miner version, if I see a tombstone, I go with the lava because he's almost always playing lava or graveyard, and if you have the barbs in the Mighty Miner, then you can just feel free to go lava there. So I don't go ahead and zap because I feel like I just wanted to save my elixir for a fireball, and as you can see, he's not having the most elixir, so even if he arrowed that, it wouldn't have saved his tower, I don't believe. And so he saves up enough for a miner, but we're still going to pretty much wrap up his push here. I believe he also goes in with the arrows on offense. Or maybe he doesn't. He goes in barbs. Yeah, but look at that. We're just instantly up a whole tower. And maybe it wouldn't have been the same outcome if he's playing Lavaloon instead of Lava Miner. But he messes up the arrows there, so that was clutch. And also the drag is helping out. But with Lava Miner, you can almost always just go up a tower early because if you think about it, when you're facing Lava Miner, you don't have to worry about him taking your tower immediately, because if you focus all your elixir on offense, then you can make sure you take a tower and then go in with just like a mega minion on defense, because you don't have to worry about the Lava Hound just sitting there doing absolutely nothing to your tower. You need to focus on offense, because if you're going to go lava, you need to make sure that you back that up, because if you spend elixir on defense, you're not going to be able to get past his I-Dragon. So, he goes with the lava in front of the E-Dragon, which is actually kind of scary. I was forced to just have to save my Mega Minion for defense, so a good play by Sheikah there. We were forced to use the Mega Minion on this E-Dragon, but it's alright because we're still going to get some nice damage, and although I believe he gives us a balloon hit, we're not... You gotta be very careful with how you play this matchup, because if you get down in cycle and counter push, then you're in a big problem, because he's just gonna rail you because he only has the Inferno Dragon necessary to counter your push. So you need to play good defense, but don't overcommit on defense. So as you can see, I gave up my tower when there was no more opportunity to save it. So I went with the zap on the Inferno just to reset it, get that Mega Minion going. And then here I had to fireball the flying machine, and it was too bad because we didn't manage to get a bunch of damage like I wanted, but you've got to take it kind of slowly, and we did get a skeleton dragon lock, so that was nice for a good 400 damage. We're up a ton, and I knew he would have to use barbs or something to try and stop this, and I knew we were going to get a guaranteed hit, especially with this zap coming in clutch here. Sadly, we didn't get another hit, and this was my blunder of the game. I went with the fireball to try and clean everything up, and I missed the E-Dragon. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking there, but it almost cost me the game. We had this shit in the bag, bro, and now look at him. He's got a flying machine on the tower. It's scary as hell. We go barbs just to tank for all this shit, and then we go with the Mega Minion to try and wrap up the machine, and we do before it gets any more damage on our tower. This is so scary, but we have to go in with the fireball here. I'm trying to get back to one more fireball just to seal the game, and here comes the onslaught. He just starts spamming stuff in the pocket, but we managed to take that tower somehow, so that was pretty cool. I like that for sure. Alright, next I got a very good game versus Giant Double Prince. This was such an intense game. I played it live on... All these games are played live on stream, so if you want to check out my channel live, it's just Invader on Twitch. It's linked in every single one of my descriptions, so if you want to check it out, just go click on that. We did have the advantage because he was level 13, but you guys can see why it scared me, right? We're at 7550. The guy's got a level 13 at top 1000 in the world, so it was a little scary, that he's climbing this high with level 13. So it means he's probably a pretty good player. And so the tombstone coming down, and I wanted to keep the tombstone as alive as possible, so that he can't like zap the tombstone immediately, and then the prince is on the tower and we'd have to overspend on it. But as you can see, we get some nice skeleton dragon damage. I'll completely wrap up his push, and the name of the game here is going to be fireball baiting. Now, you're going to have to play a game here where you try and get his fireball out on like the skeleton dragon so you can abuse the barbs. And a really interesting decision from the opponent to go with the dark prince instead of the fireball. I think I would have had a much harder time dealing with the giant if he just fireballed it instead of dark princing it. But he decided to go with the dark prince there, and he seemed like as I look back on this game, he seems like really, I don't know, scared to use his fireball on my barbs. Like, he's just petrified of the damage that the skeleton dragons are gonna do to this man. Like, he's quivering in his boots, and like he did that a couple times throughout the match, and I was kind of just like, what, isn't that just like a bad play? Because I can go barbs here, and now we're literally tied for elixir because the guy spent 5 elixir on my tombstone. Like, why did you spend that much elixir on the tombstone? That's actually kind of weird. But we managed to get a zap here, and I also believe I fireballed just to make sure we got the Dark Prince as low as we could. And the splash damage is going to kill off this Dark Prince here pretty much. And as you can see, another giant push defended with no damage taken. And no lavas are being spent here until I'm absolutely 100% sure he is not going to get a push going. So as you can see, we keep doing these defensive plays. We're slowly chipping away at his tower. No lava has been played yet in this game. We go with the tombstone. I believe I haven't played a lava. Yeah, and he does it again. It's like what was that? What was even the point of that? Because now I go with the lava because he decided to go giant in the back, and that means he's gonna commit to a push in the back, so we can pretty much get some damage here. And my goal is to force out again, a really weird fireball from the opponent. My goal is to force out fireball and answers on defense so that we have enough elixir to wrap up his giant without taking a lot of damage. And as you can see, the giant only got 1 or 2 hits there, and his tower is down to 1005. So a perfect lava hound there at the right moment, just to make sure that, you know, we weren't getting punished. And I believe he does wrap up this stuff here with no death bomb, which is unfortunate, but it's honestly whatever. I play a tombstone there just so that Ewiz stops dealing a ton of damage to our tower. The tombstone placement there actually, I think it tanked for like 300 to 400 damage there. So we're being very, very careful. We are trying to break through on offense, so he's forced to use his spells and his elixir on defense. Here with a nice fireball, we're going to get so close to the tower, and we do manage to hit it because the Ewiz was out of range. So a beautiful game versus Giant Double Prince there. Something that I think the Barbs did way better than the Mighty Miner in that matchup. Now let me show y'all why I think the Barbs are just such a good card in Lavaloon. Like, he has Royal Giant, Hunter, Queen, Lightning. This matchup is borderline unwinnable with Carl's Mighty Miner deck. The Mighty Miner, it gets stopped by the Log, the E-Spirit, the Fisherman, and it's just so hard to play, you know. And we activate King Tower off the E-Spirit there just because, you know, I see an E-Spirit, it's like I gotta put down something to activate the King Tower, man. I don't care if he has a Siege deck or whatever. And at this point, we already know he's playing Royal Giant because the E-Spirit combo does usually mean Royal Giant. Could mean like Queen Bow or something, but you usually see that stuff with Fire Spirit, so I wasn't too worried. And now we just Fireball the Queen. My goal was to get it out of here. And here I am praying he has no Fireball. We look. It doesn't look like he has a Fireball. And even if he did there, we would have just used the Mega Minion to be negating some damage. But as you can see, since he didn't fireball that, I'm 100% convinced he has lightning now. And that is absolutely game-changing because, you know, the Barbarians are such good troops against, you know, decks that don't have fireball in it. And the King Tower activation is going to prevent a good, like, 400, 500 damage there. So activating that E-Spirit was clutch at the beginning. And so I don't know if this Lavaloon was the best play. I zapped the queen here just to get it off. And sadly, we did lose our balloon there. You know, it's sad, man. It's sad. But the skeleton dragons, we're threatening him, so he was forced to go with the royal giant, which was actually a really good royal giant. And I was going with the barbs here because if I went tombstone, he just logs it and then we lose our tower. The goal is to not lose our tower because we're low, sure, but do we want to lose our tower? Absolutely not, because it doesn't matter how low we are. He still has to spend elixir on an offensive push here. This is not a gimme tower. And as you can see, we end this game without even losing this tower because the ability of the barbs to just stall his tower out is insane, or stall his RG out is insane. And he goes with a really aggressive lightning, so I try and punish him using a heavy counter push, and the zap almost gets us a balloon hit. I think it was a good zap, even though it didn't, you know, work out the way we wanted it. Here I was like, we got a mega minion on it, we got barbs coming down, no hits, no freaking hits, ladies and gentlemen. And now the lightning doesn't take the tower. That was such a clutch of barbarians, and the mighty miner doesn't do that, dude. The barbarians are what won us this game, and that's why I used them to get my first top 700 finish. And for our last game, we have Golem. It was a really nice Golem deck. Our Golem matchup. I don't mean that as if, you know, oh, it's a good matchup, I should win it 9 times out of 10. I mean, it was a very good game. It was intense. It was good plays from both sides, but we won in the end. I think it's a pretty even matchup because he does have the arrows and the zap and the bomber to deal with our barbarians. So I would have rather probably had the mighty miner in this matchup just because I'm used to playing mighty miner against a lot of decks. I'm still kind of rusty with barbs just because I've been try-harding, you know, using the mighty miner for a good 2 months now. And I kind of switched to barbs in like the last day or two. You know, I was just like, screw it. And you know what's actually interesting to me? The reason I switched to barbs was after I forgot who told me this, but somebody told me to go check API for something. It was like deck usage rate or whatnot. But I went and go filter lava decks in the top 1000, and Carl's Mighty Miner Classic lava deck is rated 11th. Meaning there are 10 Lava Hound decks rated better than his deck in top 1000 ladder. And so that was like, whoa. So, you know, with the win rate being below 50% on that deck in the top 1K, I don't think it was a good idea for me to keep using it. So I switched to the barbs, which was rated the third best lava deck. And so as you can see, we zap the bats to keep the Mega Minion alive because the tombstone is going to pull most of these skellies. And then we use the barbs just to help wrap up this Night Witch. And sadly, we're going to lose the tower. However, he doesn't have the arrows. So just going in with the fireball here is going to pretty much have our right tower gone and our left tower, or his left tower, pretty much gone. And so it's not quite gone. So that's what you got to make sure. If your opponent's tower is really low, always go with the lava on it. You got to take that tower out, because if you don't, oftentimes you could be stuck in a situation where you say, oh, his tower's so low, I'll get it later, and you never end up getting it later because you got to focus on defense or opposite lane or whatnot. So we're gonna focus all on defense here because this lava is going to take his tower out, and we just zapped the bats just because they were annoying our lava hounds. So we wanted to make sure the lava hound took the tower, and also the bats on like offense for him are really annoying to deal with. It's just like, if you can keep the Mega Minion alive because he doesn't have a direct way to kill them. So if you can keep the Mega Minion alive, he just gets so much value. It's crazy. But here I was kind of confused because he's got a bomber coming in. So how am I going to wrap up the bomber? And we just go with the Mega Minion just to make sure that he's going to get out of here. And this was a little bit of an interesting zap for me when I went over on those bats over there. That was probably a bad zap, and he took advantage of that 100%. But My strategy here was just go with another lava. He's forced to arrows, so now the skeleton dragons are going to get a ton of value. That was my thought process behind that. And then I just think I've got to wrap up this mini P.E.K.K.A, so I go barbs up top. That way we deal with the Skarmy by the time the mini P.E.K.K.A crosses the bridge. And we're getting a ton of lava pup damage on the right side, making up for most of the damage that we took from that annoying Skarmy play. And so Mega Mini goes down in the middle because that's going to defend the left lane and potentially go on offense. And so as you can see, the lava was hopefully tanking for the Mega Minion, but the Mega Minion decided to, you know, be a hero and play some defense. And so the Mega Minion placement does not hit the balloon. We are going to get to that tower, and we are going to just fireball zap, take out the Mega Minion, get that juicy W, and secure top 673. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I will be bringing live content and daily content, and hopefully also mixing in some shorts there. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.